You're listening to the Situation Today podcast. My name is Gareth Funsell, and with me I've got a very special guest. It's Max Palethorpe, who is the CEO of AIOKA. Max, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to this.
Can you tell me about what AIOKA does exactly? We know that it's been involved with the Formula One, but I believe that it's evolving.
Yes, I mean, AIOKA is a brand that sits within our organization, which is a high-end hospitality event, which has been following the Formula One. It grew out of the Formula One, specifically out of Abu Dhabi, that we bought. We built this brand, and it is a high-end hospitality for corporates. So we curate very high-end experiences, which are predominantly for our clients or for the corporates. And we've been slowly building it around the varying Formula Ones and evolving it year by year.
And you've been involved in the events industry for a long time. You've recently come to AIOKA. Can you tell us more about your background?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the events business a long time. I started my career in it in Asia Pacific, working for varying large agencies out there through a lot of different sports, through football, golf, cricket, and sort of really got to learn about events and those sort of areas, and eventually ended up in the Middle East, where I set up my own agency, and then back in sort of 2017. We were in Formula One as well, and my current business partners, Barley and Ali, we met then, and that's where sort of effectively AIOKA was born out of, and we moved the organizations together, and obviously haven't looked back since then.
Great. And looking at the Formula One, just how many races are you doing there right now, and how many are you expanding to next year?
Currently, in this calendar year, we will have operated by the end of the year. We'll have operated 12 races. So as we know, Formula One is a big global event, and we are operating in 12 of them that range, that cover Australasia to Asia to Middle East to Europe and also America and South America. So yeah, we've been on a huge expansion plan from the 6 races we did last year to the 12 races we're doing this year, and then moving to about 15 or 16 races next year. So it's been a stratoscopic sort of expansion, and we look to continue that.
And what is it about Formula One that creates a special experience that you're able to leverage?
I mean, as we all know, I mean, Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport. It's also one of the pinnacles of any sport, really. It's a truly global sport, and the excitement, and it's a seriously sexy and cool brand, and they've really built something pretty special out of that. And it also, is a very high end product that they produce. It rolls into town. It's effectively like a mini World Cup everywhere it goes, every city. It creates an unbelievable vibe in each of the cities that it does, and also it brings in, all the major corporates, all the CEOs, the chairmans, anyone that could be an ultra high net worth, are all coming into these towns during that period. So it's a culmination of unbelievable sport, business, and entertainment all rolled into one. So it's that is something of which we've been lucky enough to be a part of the journey that we've on, and of course it continues to grow, and from that perspective.
And you've been, as AIOKA, in the B2C space traditionally, but you're pivoting now towards more of a B2B or bespoke corporate events environment. Yes. Can you tell us more about the thinking behind that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, there's varying reasons behind all of that, going from a B2C to B2B. But it's a from an economic sort of side of things, it makes perfect sense, because there's a lot more risk when you're doing a B2C. You're underwriting things, you're taking a bigger risk on things, purely because you're selling to consumers, and consumers traditionally in a lot of these areas are late buyers. So that can, you're having to, look at how that's going to affect your cash flow of the business, and the risk that you're willing to take on a B2C. Whereas a B2B, fundamentally, a lot of the time, these companies know exactly what they're going to spend their budget, when they're going to spend it, and so you can lock in these ones a lot earlier, which then gives you the platform to be able to invest into other areas around it. And also, what we've seen is that fundamentally there's been a big change in corporate hospitality, away from the traditional side of things, traditional hospitality that's been going on since the 90s, 80s, 90s, which is people are coming and they're just having hospitality, they're watching the sport, and then they're going home. Formula One has been very, very successful in building something that is a little bit different, and we're really passionate about corporate hospitality itself, and where we think that's going, because I think the standard hospitality you get is certainly not going to be there in the future, and people want bespoke experiences. They want a whole different experiences over that weekend, which is not just watching the race. They want to be seen there. They want other you want the food and beverage to be of the highest quality. Your experience in the suite has to be of next level. We go down to the details of the furniture that's in there, the AV, the lighting, everything needs to be of a different level. The logistics of you getting into the venue, there's a whole host of things that I think are all part of that journey to make corporate hospitality on another level. And Formula One have been very, very successful at creating something that is very, very different. And I think that's the future of it, which is why we are, focused on that. And the clients want that as well. They don't just, anyone can go and, everyone every week, or every chairman or CEO can get invited to a different hospitality, but it's the differentiator that they get at these ones, which they're going to remember and they come back to. And that's what we're trying to create.
And what's also been exciting about all of this is that AIOKA is based here in the UAE.
Yeah.
Can you explain the thinking behind that? Obviously, it's very strategic in terms of getting to all of these places.
Yeah. I mean, we are a very, very proud UAE company, born out of here in 2012. So we've been here a long time now. But of course, strategically, from a geographical sense, it makes perfect sense. We're operating in 15, 16 countries around the world. We have to travel to them a lot. We go to all the races. This is the perfect place to be based out of when you're traveling to all of that. And then, of course, from a business perspective, it makes great sense for us to be here. The ease of setting up a company here, the breaks that you get across taxes and stuff. It's a very friendly environment for businesses to be setting up here. So it makes total sense for us to be based out of here. And then, of course, with our the people that we're attracting to come and work for as employees, again, it's not difficult to get people to want to come and live in a place like this because of the lifestyle that they live, the tax breaks, everything. The safe city that it is. There's a whole host of things that fit in. So we're supremely proud of being a UAE company that's been built out of here, and that we have also taken this brand global. So we're very excited that we're taking what we believe is AIOKA, which is a UAE brand, global.
And talking about that global element, the other partners that you work with include the likes of OKX and LVMH. These are really high-end companies that are growing their global footprints and their global marketing, so to speak.
Yeah.
What is your involvement with brands such as that? And can you tell us more about how you assist them?
Yes, I mean, both of these brands, the ones that you mentioned, OKX is obviously the title sponsor, McLaren. So, they're fully entrenched into Formula One, and again, they're a crypto brand, so they're very, what we classified as a disruptor. They're very forward thinking, looking into the future about all the, they're very innovative in terms of what they want to do. So they fit perfectly with us in terms of what they want out of hospitality or activations at the events, and we've been very successful in curating all of these for them, and they're brilliant to work with because they, the world is their oyster. They want to open up, they want to think outside the box, and they want things that are out of this world, which is what we want to curate for them. So it's been brilliant to work with such a great forward-thinking team, such as OKX and McLaren as well, because they can be classified within that. So it's, we've even really enjoyed working and building a lot of these products or activations together with them, and we can push the boundaries. As you could see, you came to the Museum of the Future this week. We did another great event for them, and we really felt that we took it to another level in terms of the production of it and what actually happened over it. And then you then think of a more traditional company like LVMH, who are, the global luxury brands. Everyone wants to be associated with LVMH. They've just signed a monster $1 billion contract with Formula One for the next 10 years. They are all about luxury and curating experiences of the next level, and that's what we're trying to create as well. So we're honored that we are working together with them with their varying brands underneath LVMH Group, and it's it's good for us because it clearly means that we've got a product that works and something that everyone wants to be a part of. When you have the likes of LVMH coming to you and saying, well, we want to work with you as well, and they have they have assets globally which no one else can have access to in terms of experiences that they could create, from the chateaus to the own to the whole host of things that sit under their companies that can take, again, corporate hospitality or hospitality as a whole to another level, and that's what's great. And then we can marry together the different corporates that we work with, because of course they all want to work with each other, and they all anything that can help elevate their experience during that weekend, the Formula One weekend, is beneficial to all parties. So that's something that we're very, very passionate about, and we believe is the future of hospitality.
And is that a key trend that you're seeing, corporates wanting more out of these big sporting events, so to speak?
Yeah, I think so. The hospitality of, we alluded to it earlier, the hospitality of old, of just going to see something, sitting and watching sport, is I believe that's a dying way of the hospitality. I don't think that's the future of it all, and Formula One are at the forefront of changing hospitality, and we're hopefully at the forefront of changing that as well with the partners that we have. So I think that is very, very crucial. I think anyone that sticks to the original hospitality is going to get left behind, because the corporates don't just want to go there. They don't just want to sit around a tablecloth table and talk. They want to be surrounded by like-minded chief executive chairmans or people. They want to be able to create deals, do business in the places they want, surrounded in the best environment, having the best food and beverage, having the activations there that are showcasing their brand within the suites, and also obviously then having experiences that money can't buy. And of course, Formula One, we're lucky because it's a super exciting sport, and it's not just, it's sport entertainment married into one. But I do believe hospitality it is changing and needs to change in terms of the traditional side, and a lot of people will be looking at what Formula One is doing, and certainly we believe what we're sort of created.
I guess what is good there is that Formula One is a trendsetter, whether it's in the automotive sector or clearly in the event sector as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's that's hence why a lot of the new the new car companies and these manufacturers are coming into the sport, because they do a lot of their R&D into it about the future of cars and stuff like that. Obviously it's going fully sustainable from a fuel perspective in 2026, and then they're going to be looking towards that hydrogen solution in 2030. So there's a reason why the Toyota, Ford, Audi, all of these major companies are coming into it, and the list of the sponsors that are associated with not only the teams but with the Formula One are all the top companies in the world, and they continue to come into it. So clearly it's a brand that's really growing, and I think also from a demographic, they've been very successful. we chatted offline about this in terms of what Netflix has done for Formula One. Of it's because it's that entertainment piece. It's brought in a younger audience, a younger demographic, and I think most other sports are dying to get that younger demographic, and Formula One have grabbed hold of them, and they've done a very good job in bringing that younger demographic into it. And that's what it's all about.
And just as a last question, looking ahead at the next 5 years, what key trends are you seeing emerging, and also where does AIOKA see itself going in that time?
Yeah, I mean, I from an AIOKA perspective, I think we're going to continue to build within Formula One. We haven't done what we wanted to do in Formula One quite yet. As I said, we're on this huge trajectory of we did 6 races last year, we're on 12 races this year, we're on to 15 next year. So from our side, we're going to concentrate on making sure that we get Formula One right, because we really wanted to be able to do that. And each city that we go to, obviously, we continue to build that out each year, from where we were. Like when we started in Abu Dhabi in 2012, we only had 100 people there. We did 3,000 people there last year. So we want to be able to build out each of the cities that we're working in, and of course continually evolve. You've got to continually evolve as that product. You can't just sit back and you've got to continually evolve that product, make it better, and talk about what you can do, and obviously listen to the clients in terms of what they think is the future, and work with like-minded people like OKX and LVMH who are going to be able to push those boundaries and sort of grow it. So we're very excited about getting Formula One right, and then of course we will look at other sports potentially in the future. A lot of people have approached us, a lot of different sports have come to us and said, why can't you do this in other sports? And of course I'm sure we could do, but I think for us at the moment we're sort of laser focused on making Formula One right, building that into what it should be, and then I think we can start to look at other sports. But already, as you saw from the event that was there last Thursday, we're already going into other events in terms of building out our events for for companies that have come to us, and they come to our events and they're like, this is obviously another level, this is brilliant what you do, can you then help us in these other areas? So of course we have another division that can help deliver things like that, and of course we have a consultancy arm which we're continuing to build, where we consult for brands within sport and from that area. So the future's bright.
Max Palethorpe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.